Ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to welcome the Taylor Varsity cheerleading squad. Please welcome the Lady Day, Alexandra Houston, Allie Kennedy.
To Indian Hill Gymnasium, I'm Rob Young with Brian Shaw, bringing you the varsity action here where the Indian Hill Braves, who are 4-2, will be taking on the Taylor Yellow Jackets. Braves come off a great weekend last week with a win against Marymount with a huge blowout where they only allowed Marymount to score 10 points, and a win against Boone County where we had several players score in double digits, and Amari Whitehead had a breakout game with a double-double. Tonight's action obviously is a CHL League game, and we'll be right back with you to bring you some commentary before the action as we introduce the players.
Ladies and gentlemen, your starting lineups for tonight's varsity basketball game. First for the Taylor Yellow Jackets, number 0, Jamarian Jones. Number 3, Taylor Embry. Number 10, Josh Pate. Number 11, Bennett Flyer.
Good to have you back. Congratulations. That is awesome, man. That's a boss.
Oh, we got a few alumni checking in. The Eichholz brothers. Number 1, Wyatt Watts starting for the Braves at guard. Number 11, Ben Bader. Number 15 at the 5 post is Jalen Thornton. Number 40, Colton Brewer playing in the wing. And the other wing, number 44, Johnny Baltima. So, Brian, should be a great night. Homecoming for a lot of these guys coming back. We saw the Eichholz brothers here, the Boz brothers. And
yeah, that's great, isn't it?
It is.
When you see the Bosworths, you always say, "Hey, Boz, how you doing? Hey, Boz," because you don't know who's John and who's Peter. You can't possibly know.
No.
So, no, it's terrific. And great to see all these guys come back. Tonight, we'll try to point them out as we see them. See Mick Oakes also across the way. I think he's coming over here to be with the guys. And Matteo Fiore just walked in. So it's a big group. Going to be a lot of fun.
Well, folks, again, I'm Rob Young with Brian Shaw, bringing you this live action on IHTN Sports Network on the YouTube channel IHTN1, where the Indian Hill Braves will be taking on the Taylor Yellow Jackets. Tipping off for the Braves is Johnny Baltima, and for the Taylor Yellow Jackets, it is number 0, Jamarian Jones, as the Braves win the tip-off. So we come off 2 good wins last weekend against Marymount and Boone County. Still got a few guys that are injured. And Bader goes in and is fouled. He'll be shooting too.
Yeah, Braves with a little time off coming up, and it couldn't be coming at a better time. Great weekend last weekend for the Braves. A win on Friday night here, win Saturday at Boone County. Great night to be the Debbie Birch. I always look at her and say, what kind of weekend you're going to have? And that was a good weekend, being a coach's wife and having the team win 2 games. Opportunity here to go into the Christmas break and have some time off with a W. Braves hoping to get it done here on their home floor.
So the Braves go up 1-0 on that free throw opportunity as the Yellow Jackets bring it down into their home side of their offensive end of the court.
Rob, we talked about too, the Braves not limping to the break, but certainly Braves will get some benefit from this period of rest for a few kids that we'll talk about that are not with them tonight.
So Taylor's bringing the midcourt trap early. And Thornton draws a foul. That'll be the second team foul on Taylor. Braves will get the ball on the out of bounds. Yeah,
good job by the Braves. Small passes, short passes, everybody moving, everybody touching the ball. Beat it with the pass. We talk about the guys that are out tonight. Of course, Josh Young out again, but he's close. And the same thing with Trey Lopez, who is on target to be back at the beginning of the year, 2019. So Braves hoping to get through this one, shorthanded, but still, Braves will still probably play 8 or 9 guys tonight.
Yeah, against Boone County they played 11. Against Marymount I think they played 10.
Yeah.
Thornton into the paint, dishes it off. Wyatt with a 3. That'll put the Braves up 4-2 with 6:30 left here in the first quarter.
Yeah, the sophomore is starting to get more and more comfortable. And you see him not hesitating on that shot, and that's what they want. They want him in there to shoot the basketball.
Going to be out on Brewer.
Yeah, this Taylor team a couple of weeks ago played Deer Park. We all know how good Deer Park is. And, of course, last year a state championship in Division III. Taylor played them. They were down 17 heading into the fourth quarter, but cut it, I believe, to 7. I think lost that game by 7 points. So Taylor much improved. I know Deer Park a little short on the bench right now, but still good showing by Taylor.
Yeah, they come in 2 and 3 with losses to Lawrenceburg, Ross, and Deer Park. And like you said, the Deer Park game, they only lost by 7.
Yeah. One thing to keep in mind, Deer Park, I think that night without Mark Wise, and we mentioned it many times, Mark Wise truly one of the special players in this league in quite some time.
Do you know is he out on a visit for football?
No, wrong guy. That would be Joe Hocker. But no, just missed the game. I'm not sure why.
Thornton into ball's up and off the mark, and Thornton's going to get called for the foul there over the back.
I say no, wrong guy. Not because he couldn't play, he just doesn't. But
that's right.
Let's keep Mark Wise all basketball, special basketball player. But no, I imagine he'd be a pretty good football player too.
And so tonight's action in the CHL, you've got Finneytown against Deer Park, you got Taylor against Indian Hill, Madeira against Wyoming, and Reading against Marymount. An interesting game for guys that like to follow high school basketball and like to follow the CHL. It's going to be Wyoming against Western Hills tomorrow night.
Oh, wow. How about that?
Not that it's a league game, but it'd be a good indication of how strong this Wyoming team might be.
Yeah. I haven't seen Western Hills. Are they good this year?
They're decent. I'm not sure who they've beat, but they've had some good wins. And, it's a Division I school as opposed to, us Indian Hill and Wyoming schools that are Division II. When you look at the CHL, I think the black horse this year is really going to be Reading. Reading has played a lot of teams really tight, including Deer Park.
Yeah, Reading. Braves to know firsthand, tough one at Reading. 50-49 loss by the Braves a couple of weeks ago. But Reading's a good team.
Well, we really want Reading to win a couple more against some of our opponents. That'll help even the league out.
That's right. Yeah,
so that we can wallop them when they come back to Indian Hill. Yeah,
I still think this league, we could have a couple of teams with a couple of losses at the top of it. Certainly Wyoming looks great. Got off to a great start. And Wyoming's done really well. The football season, long season with the championship, getting into the gym late didn't seem to hurt them any. Experienced team, a lot of guys that really know how to play basketball. Great coaching staff.
And last Friday they had that squeaker of a win past Deer Park. Of course, Deer Park beat them twice last year, so that's an indication of where that team is in the league and where Deer Park is this year. It's not the same Deer Park team, but still a really strong team that every team's going to have to watch out for.
Yeah, Taylor putting some points up on the board here early. Taylor comes into the game averaging just about 40 points a game and looking pretty good right now. Continue to pressure. Braves doing a good job getting across half court, not really making them pay for it. But good guard play so far this year. Think about the year that Ben Bader is having.
He is having a good year.
Yeah, I believe Ben comes into the game with 28 assists and only 6 turnovers. You think about what that does for a team, that's just tremendous. Braves getting assists on about 70% of their baskets this year.
Baltimore with the shot outside, and he drains another three.
And there's one right there, and of course part of getting an assist is having a guy that can make a shot. Johnny Baltimore with a great catch and shoot.
So if we were in Boone County, it'd be Johnny Baltimore.
Is that right? Is that what they were saying?
Baltimore.
Yeah.
Baltimore.
I left during the JV game.
You know, coming in tonight, 3 games tonight. You had the JV that won, and then you had the freshman team that won. Though they got a little sloppy at the end, but they still held on to that win.
Yeah.
That is a group of young men to watch.
Yeah, that freshman group, a great group of kids. I mean, they all really like each other. They play well together.
Oh,
Got a
Brian,
few good basketball players.
To say that.
Well,
they are.
I'd say credit cards, check, whatever. But no, they great group of kids, and you pair them really with that sophomore class, and you know, even up into the junior class. You think about they're going to be together for a little bit too. So good times coming for Indian Hill. But first things first, let's have a good season this year. It was a very capable Indian Hill team. Seeing them great help defense from the Braves.
Colton Brewers, another tie-up.
Yeah. At previous possession, they posted up against Ben Bader, Johnny Baltimore with great help. So Braves playing well together defensively here the last couple of minutes.
And it's 9-7 with 2 minutes left. Baltimore's already got 5 points. Bader's already got 1.
Good help there by Sam Richardson. Now Colton. Taylor intent on getting the ball inside to that guard. Braves doing a great job.
We have a tied game here with 1:45 to go. As Ty Thornton's in the game for the Braves now.
Nice left hand there to finish. Yeah, Braves being very patient with this pressure.
Johnny with another 3, and that one's in and out. And he's going to get called for the travel.
Yeah, good idea. Certainly had Johnny raising up, went by him, but traveled in order to do it.
Taylor subbing in number 5, Blake Brunswick.
Good job by the Braves not to get sped up right here. They break the pressure and then they get into something and run their offense. And tough pass right there, but for the most part, Braves doing a good job settling down and trying to play the game on their terms offensively.
Braves bringing the pressure. On court general Johnny Baltimore gets Ty Thornton into position to make sure nobody's behind. Off the mark, rebound by Taylor. He goes up, he gets blocked by Baltimore. Richardson with the ball.
Yeah, Bennett Weiher, Taylor really making a point to try to get him involved in the game, feeling like he physically matches up very well, but the Braves doing a good job of playing him as a team.
Yeah, and he's their best junior player that they have. He led that team in 8th grade, 9th grade. Ninth grade he played the freshman game, and then he'd suit up for the JV game, much like Trey and Josh. And then last year he was nothing but varsity.
Yeah, good player. Nice pairing last year with Jake Hauser in the backcourt.
Yeah. This is a Bader with the baseline drive and scores. It's a 10-9 game, and we're counting down the quarter. Taylor gets the basket and the foul. Will end the quarter on a foul shot. That'll make it a 11-10 and a 1 at the line.
Basket was good by Jamarian Jones. He's shooting and
So the Braves are going to go in with a 1-point deficit. I jinxed them.
You did. How'd you know?
Do I get a stat for that?
I don't think you jinxed him. I just think you're kind of a soothsayer. You saw that before it happened there.
So the Braves go in with a 1-point deficit.
They put one on the board for the Braves. I'm not sure what happened there, but they went from 10 to 11.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. They must have had a 3-point shot that they only put 2 up. And as always in a high school game, you'll see the score get corrected at the end of a quarter. Unlike in college where they'll stop the play and TV review, and they've got 3 or 4 TV timeouts now.
Yeah, I prefer just keep playing. We'll figure it out later.
You know, when you're at home watching the game, TV timeouts aren't bad because it allows you to take your little break. But when you're at the game, those TV timeouts kind of get old real quick.
Well, you know, at least you're indoors. I mean, let's face it. Right now, you go down Sunday to see the Bengals, and of course they're on the road this week. But that's where the TV timeouts really become a problem.
Yeah, that is.
Sitting out in 30-degree weather.
Great game by the Bearcats. You got to think Bearcat basketball is going to get ranked possibly this week into the top 25. Almost that game was a 30-point win for the Bearcats, even though UCLA at the last second put a shot up from almost half court and it went in.
Right. Yeah, not a bad showing either down at Mississippi State.
No.
Over the weekend. Very tough team. Bearcats played a good schedule and they've done really well.
The Braves back at it here. In for the Braves, Bader, Thornton, Brewer,
Walks in Baltimore.
Wyatt's off the mark. Thornton with the long rebound. Gives it to Brewer, who's going to get called for the charge.
Yeah, a lot good happening there for the Braves, particularly with Bader probing that defense and then being able to find Walks and watch Wyatt Walks just let it go in rhythm.
Yeah, he's got a nice quick release.
He really does, and just has to trust himself.
If this basketball thing doesn't work out to him, catch and release fishing might work for him.
Yeah.
But I think this basketball thing's going to work for him.
But it's interesting, you know, you watch him when the season first started, and the thing I think you look for, wow, doing it from inside and outside. Jones, nice player. But the thing you looked for first was the speed of the game and how he was doing there, and then physically, not a big guy, but seemed to hold his own very well in both those regards. And then it was just a matter of maybe deferring a little too much as a young guy, but now he's starting to take his shots, and it's good for the Braves.
Brewer off the mark. Got to get those rebounds, Braves.
Yeah, it's one thing Indian Hill has done, I think, pretty well here of late. Rebound the basketball, big key in the past weekend when the Braves won 2 games. Rebounding the basketball is a big help. Braves come in averaging 31 rebounds a game. Taylor, not a real strong rebounding team, but Braves got to start picking it up.
Watts with the coast-to-coast two-pointer.
Yeah, you're seeing his game right there. His ability to slow things down. He just is not going to get rushed, even in transition. Able to finish that on his terms, his pace, very solid.
Number 21 for Taylor drains it. Makes it a 17-13 game. Braves are down by 4 with 5:30 left here in the second quarter. That's Lucas Picklesomer.
Say it again.
Picklesomer.
I tell you what, that's two tough ones. I mean, we might as well be doing hockey with some of these names.
Bader in, out to Baltimore. Baltimore drives in, dumps it out to Thornton.
The thing I really like about Taylor so far is just seeing how they spread the floor and make you guard everywhere.
Johnny puts it up, is fouled on the shot. He'll be shooting too.
Yeah.
Always got to like it when Johnny's at the foul line shooting.
Yeah, Johnny coming into the game, I think averaging about 2 free throws a game this season, and Braves would do well to get him to the line a little more often. Love to see the fact that Johnny caught the ball at that part of the floor, even though he had multiple defenders, still looked at the basket and took the opportunity. Braves are better when he does that. Mari Whitehead going to come in for Colton Brewer.
You know, Mari had a great weekend last weekend against Marymount. Okay game against Boone County.
Yeah.
But Marymount, he came alive.
Yeah, you know, it's interesting. Every team, you would think that guys always play the same way regardless of who else is on the floor, but Amari Whitehead really has an ability to increase the intensity level and the energy for this team. And, you know, you think about the guys that are out, you know, Trey Lopez is that guy usually, but with Trey out, Amari's role is even more important.
And that was Trey and Josh's role last year on that
Sure.
JV, well, freshman year on the JV squad. When those two came in and played JV, the energy level just went up a notch.
Yeah, so important in basketball.
The third one, like Amari, I like the combination. When everyone's healthy, I think it's going to be a fun game to watch when you've got Whitehead, Lopez, Young, Baltimore with a nice block there.
Yeah, it just does so much, I mean, on both ends of the floor. You know, when you have somebody that raises the energy level, so many more opportunities open up for teams.
You know, and unfortunately I have to go back to freshman year for Josh, but when we went down to Boone County his freshman year, he didn't play the freshman game. He played the JV game, had 26 points and 18 rebounds and 6 assists. You bring that kind of energy with White. I mean, you want to see two high-flying players. You put Amari and Josh in there at the same time, and I don't think there's anybody on this team that can out-jump those two.
Sure. Yeah, looks like we got a tie-up, and the Taylor pressure really hasn't resulted in turnovers so far in this game, and Braves just not getting rid of the basketball. Part of that decision-making, part of that guys making themselves available.
Whitehead with a nice move into the lane, and that's a nice thread-in-the-needle move by Whitehead.
Yeah, just an attack mentality. And it can manifest itself in so many ways. I mean, if he doesn't get the bucket, chances are he gets a foul called. And here we have a travel.
A travel call on number 9. No, it's not number 9. That's number 3. Tyler Embry. Again, trying to get Johnny to pull up, but to do it, he's traveling. Nice dish. It's a little errant there, but nice thought by Thornton to Whitehead, who was streaking down the middle of the lane.
Yeah, Taylor doing a nice job of ball pressure. We saw it in the freshman game actually result in a couple of 5-second calls.
Bader down on the floor. The Braves are playing. Now they're all back to full strength with Bader down on the defensive end, but number 2, Danny Austin scores, and the Braves call a timeout. So it's a 19-20 game with 3 minutes left here in the half. You know, the pressure that Taylor's bringing, you got to think they must have watched film, because that's how Reading played them the other night. Was pressure from the gate and just really stayed in their pocket.
Right. Yeah, I think Indian Hill's done an okay job of just breaking the pressure and not turning it over, but it's kind of what happens after that. You know, do you run your stuff? Do you run it at your pace? Do you still have the same offense after you get done breaking that pressure? On the other end, I love what Taylor's doing in spreading the floor out, hitting shots from distance, and really opening up opportunities for everybody. It's really hard to guard them right now. Little dribble penetration, little help comes, finding the guy that they left. Taylor looks like they're a much improved team. And one thing having looked at that Deer Park game and the fact they were down 17 and they cut it by 10 points down to 7 at the end of the game, they're not going to go away. So Indian Hill going to have to play for 4 quarters tonight and going to have to play well against a really good team to win this.
So folks, what Brian's been talking about is we do a great job of breaking this full court press. It's once we get down to the offensive side that we just haven't gotten back into a rhythm with our offense.
The other thing, and Coach Birch calls a timeout here, the other thing is Braves have had opportunities to get the ball to the middle of the floor. If they get the ball to the middle of the floor, I really think they have an opportunity to score against this pressure, which might lead to the pressure going away. But until you can show people that, hey, if they don't have to give up anything on the back end, probably going to stay in it. You're going to see it quite a bit tonight. The other thing, we're only 3 minutes away from the half, and to this point, Taylor, as much as they've pressured, only 5 fouls. So they're doing it, and they're doing it the right way.
So the Braves will get the ball out of bounds on the sideline. Taylor drops back in their defensive set. Which tells me, that shows us that Taylor doesn't believe athletically they can beat the Braves from a half-court position. Nice shot by Thornton. So if they don't have the full court to pressure, they're not going to bring the pressure. Shot off the mark, Whitehead with the rebound. Whitehead up the court. Does a great job of regaining control of that ball. And the Braves move into their offense.
Yeah, I know Maury kind of got ahead of things a little bit there, but I'm really happy to see the Braves, or somebody on the Braves, push the basketball. A lot easier to play offense in transition. And Wyatt now showing us a different part of his game, taking the ball to the basket. Just a really good sign for the Braves, because he's going to be very important to them the second half.
That's his 10th point of the night.
Nice effort by Whitehead there to try to draw that charge. Not a bad no call, but I love the effort.
Yeah, that was. Took him a little bit to get up because he was trying to protect himself from getting stepped on. Got up quickly and got up.
Yeah, Braves doing a really good job tonight in help defense. There you saw guard get beat off the dribble, but great help. Matter of fact, multiple defenders in the lane to help out. And doing it by moving their body in position. So
and that's going to be a
drawing
foul on
fouls.
Baltimore. That was a great inbounds play by, got Baltimore off of his guy. His guy was wide open in the lane. Baltimore tries to recover. Anytime inside that paint that you try to recover after losing a guy, it's always going to cause you some problems.
Yeah, it's amazing. We were looking at it earlier tonight, the freshman game. Taylor had 6 points, and out of their first 10 or so that came from out of bounds underneath, and started standing somebody right under the basket. Amazing what that can do to take away that. But Braves playing pretty well defensively. Whitehead going to go out. Jalen Thornton going to come in. So both Thornton brothers are out there together. That's the dream, right? as a dad, as a mom, that's the dream. Have both kids out there playing together. We've seen it quite a bit, really, over the years. The Fiore brothers, seen it over in Wyoming with the Edmonds brothers, the Prather brothers. Bosworth's, right?
Eichholtz.
Yeah, Eichholtz brothers, yeah. They were on the floor a lot together. The Rogers brothers over in Wyoming.
The Rogers brothers here in Indian Hill.
Yes.
If you go back far enough.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, Wyatt Walk's having a heck of a game.
12 seconds left. The Braves are up by 3 here in the first half, folks. Again, this is Rob Young with Brian Shaw bringing you the live action here as we wrap up. Say a quick shout out to some of our sponsors: Bob Summerall, Jeff Weiler, Grass Corps, Dial One, and many others, and we'll bring you those in the second half. Braves take it a halftime break, 24-1 against the Taylor Yellow Jackets. A lot closer game than I think Braves fan might have thought this would have been.
Yeah, you know, I mean, hey, anything goes on exam week, though, right? I mean,
true.
it's kind of tough. You don't know exactly what you're going to get, but the Braves doing a nice job. Nothing egregious. I think if they get the ball in the middle of the floor against that pressure, we're going to see a lot more Braves buckets in the second half, maybe a little separation.
Folks, we're going to take a little break here. I'm Rob Young with Brian Shaw. This is the IHTN Sports Network. We'll talk to you in about 9 minutes.
Coverage of tonight's game on the Indian Hill Television Network is a presentation of the Indian Hill High School Video Department. The Video Department provides the community with educational and school-focused programming through the facilities of the ICRC.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Indian Hill High School, the Braves and the Yellow Jackets at Taylor. The Braves lead 24-21 as we start the third quarter. Welcome back. Rob Young.
Brian Shaw, what have you said?
I haven't said anything. Just reset the time and the score.
So the Braves come back out with Brian Lewis, Thornton, Baltimore, Watts, and Bader.
Let me give you a list of some of the guys in here tonight. You can make a pretty good team, a lot of different sports. Matteo Fiore. Great help and great wall up by Jalen Thornton. How about that?
Baltimore makes the shooter change directions and gets the ball on the rebound. Bader drives in the lane, dumps it out to Baltimore, who drives in, dumps it out to Lewis. Thornton gets tied up.
Really impressed with this Yellow Jacket team.
If I remember correctly, he's their fullback in football.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, going in and tying him up. Really impressed with Jones, too. Jones, number 0 at the top, guarding Johnny. Done a great job, both ends of the floor.
And to remind everybody, he sat out the last probably 3 to 4 minutes of the second quarter because he had a bloody nose.
Yeah. Yeah, talking about some of the guys here, we mentioned the Bosworths, we mentioned the Eicholtzes, Mick Oakes, Colin Shaw, Joel Berger, Seth Bradford.
Well, that Colin Shaw kid, I'm disappointed. He hasn't come to say hi to you yet.
No. That won't happen until he needs money.
It's always a good thing when the kids come home from college.
Yep.
Both personally at home and obviously here at school.
Tennyson Holmes, Adam Sitchell. How about that?
Thornton's going to get called for the foul as Jones puts that in the lane.
Talked about Jones. Jones really doing a good job on both ends. Played great defense so far. And offensively, I know he hasn't scored a lot of points, but Jones has done a really good job in creating space, setting screens, getting people shots. Done a really good job tonight. Nice player. Here again, the Braves working the sidelines. And a lot of that Taylor inviting them to work the sidelines.
Loose ball, Thornton picks it up, calls a timeout. So tied up 24-24. Can't forget Demetrius Baylor still in his senior year, but great athlete here in the gym tonight. But like you said, let's bring back all those alumni and have a little alumni action. Yeah,
it's fun to see, and I think the best part about it, so many of those guys playing for Coach Birch. A.J. King here, he was part of the basketball program early in his high school days. Just so many of those guys coming back to see the coach, and it's a great environment down there in the coach's office. Really a lot of younger kids, children of the coaches come in and out of there, and former players. It's just a tremendous culture.
Braves with the ball underneath their own basket. Coming out of the timeout. Gordon with the ball.
Taylor obviously with a good understanding of Indian Hill and the personnel coming out to challenge.
Turnover on the Braves by Lewis. Taylor capitalizes on it. You see Amari Whitehead come in the game.
All of the Braves shooters really get challenged far away from the basket.
Thornton goes up, gets fouled. It's Jones's second foul. We'll want to watch that because this Taylor team is a different team with him in the game. Thornton drains the first one to make this a 25-26 game as Whitehead comes in for Lewis.
Yeah, conversely, if you're the Braves, obviously you're looking for him when you come down the floor. Try to get him up in the air as he did there.
Taylor pushing the ball up the court. And there's that number 12. Bennett Wilher.
Yeah, nice job there on the back cut. And then, getting into the defender. So many times guys want to get away from the defender. Good job there getting in and taking away Amari's jumping ability because of the contact.
Great idea. They're pushing the ball up the court.
Rob, that's something that you see in basketball quite a bit. I mean, whether it's taking shots or it's just trying to get open on an inbound or a pass to the wing, guys that really try to avoid the contact offensively.
Whitehead gets called for the travel.
Yeah, this Taylor team, very, very physical, very scrappy. But,
Number 2 in for the Braves.
You used to hear coaches all the time talk about that. Get into him, to get open, to establish contact, to pin that guy and make him stationary, and then separate. Don't push off, but separate. Taylor players with a good understanding of that. The other thing you notice here in this game is, when Indian Hill goes to set something up, generally speaking, there's a guy out applying pressure on the ball. When Taylor has the ball, that hasn't been the case as much. Nice job by Jalen staying solid.
Gets the travel call.
Yep.
The Braves ball.
And if they hadn't gotten the travel, they would have gotten the rebound. Good job.
Over and back on the Braves. Thornton hands that ball off just a little too soon. I think that was a close call. If we had a replay of that, I think you'd find that Bader's foot was off the court. But that's one of those calls as they bring in Mateo Lopez, younger brother of Trey.
Yeah, I think it's the first time we've seen him tonight. He's played so well for the Braves.
So now the Braves have gone 10 deep.
Not sure how many JV minutes Mateo played tonight, if that factored in, but
he played a lot tonight.
Welcome addition. Good job by Ben Bader.
Timeout by Taylor.
Getting a little help from Amari Whitehead. Hard to believe that the timeout would precede a jump ball. I mean, truly the jump ball is when both players have their hands on the ball. I mean, it's an immediate thing. Kind of amazing they were able to get the timeout before that call was made. But that's how it goes.
So Taylor will have the ball underneath their own basket. It's 26-28. The Braves down by 2 with 3:49 left here in the third quarter.
Of course, Rob, one of the reasons for that quick call on the jump ball, a lot of people watching say, man, that's kind of frustrating that they call that so quickly. Well, reason being, it's a point of emphasis to avoid injury.
Right.
We had it a couple of years ago, Marco Fiore involved in a jump ball that wasn't called in time down at Boone County. Ends up hurting his shoulder. But you don't want guys swinging around and falling on the floor, both of them holding on to the ball.
Nice defense by the Braves here.
Frankly, if you get tied
Goes
up,
in.
you're doing something wrong offensively, and the defense should be rewarded.
It's going to be Braves ball.
Man. Amari Whitehead going hard into the wall there. Looks like he's okay.
He's shaking it off.
Good news is I think that was shoulder and not head.
Taylor's still bringing this full court press. This has always been something that, quite frankly, the Braves early in the season always struggle with.
Yeah. Well, you notice what I think they've done that is really good. They really do take away that middle. And the Braves, with a big target and Johnny Baltum out there in the middle, Taylor just doing a really good job.
Whitehead with a steal after Bader turned it over. And he is mugged. He goes down hard, but he gets up. If we were in the college game or the NBA, they'd be replaying that and looking at it. But I don't think there was anything malicious about it. I think it was just a player trying to make sure that he wasn't.
I understand, and I don't think there's anything malicious either. But boy, really a vulnerable position for players when they're in transition, especially if somebody's coming from behind. That is a really tough spot. Not sure if we're going to have a replay. I think.
Here it comes.
Let's talk about that.
Whitehead with his steal.
Yeah, good active hands.
He goes up.
Yeah. Purely from the side, hand down low, trying to get the ball. So no intent there.
He got caught up in his feet.
Yeah, Amari with the heck of a last minute and a half. Runs shoulder first into the wall on one end and is down on his tailbone the other.
Amari's off the mark.
But we're talking about that pressure. And they just do a really good job before the Braves offensive players are able to see that middleman open and get it to him, taking that away. And forcing the Braves up the sideline. And, once you're up the sideline, you're really working with half the floor. You're not going to throw a cross-court pass from there. And it really makes it a little easier on the defense. And I think that's why they've been so effective against the Braves.
Whitehead up, gets the foul. He'll be back at the line.
Yeah, again, and Taylor kids, and this is no knock. This is actually a compliment. It's just that they do such a good job. There's nobody on this floor over 6'2", and there's some younger guys that are going to get better and better. There's some guys that are football guys first, and yet, it's a team that right here on the road, hey. They're right in this. This is their game as much as it is the Braves.
Whitehead with his third point. One of the things you got to like, here we are, with 2:35 left in the third. Whitehead's been playing good defense. He doesn't have any fouls.
Yeah, and he's getting a lot of time. And, I think one thing for him is just getting enough minutes to improve his game, improve his endurance. This is a guy that started football season late because of a transfer and, just getting his first action here basketball-wise.
Well, the Braves had the ball. They lose control of it. It goes almost out of bounds. Taylor recovers it and is back on offense.
Great job pulling up there.
Bader shut down by number 12, and he's going to get the foul on number 12.
Yeah, really good job on the other end. Taylor, offensive player, number 21, Lucas Pickelmeiser, doing a great job of pulling up, avoiding the charge. Good-looking shooter. Ben Bader, you can't say enough about how well he's taking care of the basketball here as a senior. And there's Wyatt. Wyatt with that release, he's going to do things on his terms, his timeline. Love it.
Jump ball. Ball will go to Taylor.
And that for Wyatt, the pace that he plays in and not getting rushed and all that stuff, I think it's a confidence that he has. And I think that confidence comes from having really thought about, what he's doing. He understands the game. He understands how much time he has and how much time he doesn't have. He doesn't rush. He doesn't get all stressed out.
That's going to be a foul on Watts.
Yep. Nice job
Wyatt's
there.
First foul. He's got 13 points already tonight.
Nice job early in that process of riding the guy down to the baseline. Just when you get him there and he's going to take an off-balance shot, pull off a little bit. It's a really tough shot to make. I think sometimes young players give the other guy a little too much credit.
So it's a 29-30 game. The Braves are up by 1 with 1:20 left here in the third quarter. You got any live scores for us, Brian?
I've got a significant development. Wyoming and Madeira we always talk about Madeira and the fact that they control pace. I don't know outside of Moeller High School if there's anybody that controls pace any better than Madeira. There have been years where Indian Hill has had high-octane type teams that seemingly can do it all, and then they play Madeira and they play a 40-point game.
Bader off the mark, rebounded by Taylor. So what's the significant?
Well, tonight the Madeira Mustangs and Madeira Youth Basketball and Coach Reynolds and Coach Rockwell and the whole history of things there. Wyoming and Madeira were tied at 12 at the half.
Oh, gee. 24 points total.
Now, you're talking about in Evan Prather, a kid that's going to play really high-level Division I football, great athlete, 6'6", he can play basketball. He's a really good basketball player. And then you're talking about Joey Edmonds, who's going to play at Findlay, and people might say Findlay. Well, Findlay is a top 10 Division II school. That's grown man basketball. And with those two guys alone, and then you add in, the sophomore, that Walker and some of the other guys.
For the enforcer.
Amazing. 12 points and a half. Just give Coach Rockwell some kind of an award right now.
Ball out to Thornton off the mark. Whitehead with another rebound. I think he's got 10 rebounds already.
But the game opened up in the third quarter.
Wyoming.
At the end of 3, it's 22 apiece.
Well, that's more points in a quarter.
Hey, I think you could have Coach Kramer, Coach Susley calling Coach Rockwell here at 10 o'clock tonight saying, hey, what are you doing over there? What are you doing? How are you holding people like that to 22 points?
So at the end of 3, Braves are up 32-29. That's a good sign for the Braves. Still, one of the things I want to see the Braves get better at, and obviously we haven't gotten deep into our conference, but with the athleticism we have, we got to figure out how to play more aggressive against not only the pressure defense, but a very physical team.
Right.
Because when we get into, forget the conference, let's talk, when we get into the state tournament, we are going to see teams that play this kind of basketball from buzzer to buzzer.
Yeah, well, and if the Braves play those teams with the, with the guys that are available to them tonight, it's going to be trouble. But if they can get some guys healthy and, really kind of opens up options for them. I think tonight, honestly, you look at one end of the floor and Taylor is pressuring our guys, and you look at the other end of the floor and we're a little bit more solid, just kind of a solid man with help and that kind of thing. Well, hey, what happens if you play that kind of game and Ben gets in trouble? Or we give up stuff, and on the back end of it, Johnny's a rim protector, and Johnny gets in trouble. Then you're really in a difficult spot. I think Indian Hill's probably doing the right thing right now just to kind of grind this thing out. It might not be exactly what everybody wants, but if they come away with a win, you go back, you take 5 days off, you get back in the gym, hopefully have all the pieces, and start to put it back together and make tweaks. The good news is before the injuries happened, the Braves really were playing a lot of guys, and going forward, expect that they will do that, and that will open up a lot of opportunities for them to play a more aggressive style.
Yeah, well, you figure 2 of those guys are going to be serious, coming back, are going to be serious contributors, and we're getting significant playing time in Lopez and Young. So we've already gone 11 deep tonight. That'll give us 13. You have Charlie Summerall, who,
right,
when Young went out and Lopez went out, was getting some significant playing time. So now you go 14,
right,
and you still have 2 other guys on the bench that haven't gotten any playing time in the last couple of games. But I'm confident one of them is a 6'8", 6'9" guy that at least if we need another big body in there, like a Thornton, you can stick him in there, and then you've got Zach.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I'm glad you brought up Charlie Summerall. We didn't talk about him as being part of that bench that's unavailable. Tonight, if Charlie Summerall was available, Charlie Summerall would be playing a lot of minutes right now. But another guy. So you really got 3 key components to this team. And again, it just makes everybody else a little bit better. When the minutes get cut back and the foul trouble concerns go away and the guys are fresh and they're playing hard and they're competing for time. Just makes everybody better. Boy, Jones on the other end, taking contact from Johnny and still able to finish. You just look at what he's doing. I mean, again, both ends of the floor just knocked Johnny off a spot right there without
Whitehead
fouling.
in with a nice fingertip roll by Amari Whitehead.
Yeah, basket's hard to come by right now. Nice when a guy like Amari Whitehead can just make a play. Jones just kind of has an old man's game, you know, able to take his time and very cerebral.
Lopez with the nice fingertip roll as he cuts two defenders in half.
Yeah, Lopez and Walks, you could almost kind of picture them being related somehow with their game. Both of them, when they get close to the basket, a little bit of a change of pace, really hard to defend and always solid in the finish. Very balanced players.
Baltimore's going to get called for a foul. That'll be Johnny's second foul.
Yeah, I like it though. You know, I mean, it's, hey, look, make him earn it from the line. Johnny in good help position. Braves have done a nice job tonight for the most part, helping and making it hard for Taylor to score at the rim.
32-36, 5:46 left in this game as number 3, Taylor Embry, comes back in for the Yellow Jackets. Folks, if you got a chance, stop by the concession stand. It's half price off. Free popcorn.
There we go. Turn. Just amazed. You know, Taylor's been able to do this all night and really not give up anything on the back end. Hats off to him. It's always the thing that concerns you about pressure is what if it breaks down? What if they get easy looks at the other end?
Watch with the rebound, the putback, and the foul for a three-point play as the Braves go up 38-33 with 5:20 left, and that's his 15th point.
Well, Wyatt with a cool response, too. You know, the teammates all fired up about the end one opportunity, as they should be. Wyatt just kind of walking back to that line saying, well, we'll see about the end one, and he does. Linda Holmes out on the floor.
The official photographer of Indian Hill Sports.
She is. I think she was trying to set a screen there, too. Not sure what was going on. She's awfully good at that and a lot of other things. Pillar of the community, Linda Holmes. Been good to the kids of Indian Hill and good to the families. Got to be thankful for Linda Holmes. 6-point Brave lead with 5 minutes left. Rob, it feels like, you know, they finally opened up a little distance here.
Mateo with the takeaway, up and fouled. So he'll be at the line shooting too.
Yeah, you know, you look at this, again, we always respect the upperclassmen, but you start to look at some of these younger guys coming through and, you know, you're seeing minutes right now in a tight game where you've got, you know, a couple of sophomores out on the floor playing really meaningful minutes and very productive minutes.
Lopez off the mark. It's still a 39-33 game with 4:53 left in the game. That's the third foul on number 12. Their seventh foul, so the next time we'll be shooting one-on-one. Lopez drains. Paul Taylor's going to push this ball up quickly. Amari's going to get called on that. That's the right call. Great defense by Amari, but he did leave his feet and landed on top of the guy.
Yeah.
It's hard to say you went straight up when you do that.
No, stay on the floor. No reason really to jump right there. One of the hardest things too to talk about is just how your hands and your hips are not connected. You can drop your hips and be solid and at the same time have your hands up.
Mari coming for the help side to bail out Baltimore that left his feet. That's a great opportunity to talk about the game for anyone that's young watching this. When you leave your feet, you give up so much floor.
Yeah, you're just completely out of control. You got to hope the other guy makes a mistake. December 7th was the birthday of the great Larry Bird, and they used to talk about the parachute club. Larry Bird, not a jumper, didn't need to be a jumper, but always made other people jump. Show him the ball. He shows Johnny the ball, Johnny jumps. Then he goes up for the shot, and Amari jumps.
And jumps. Yeah. It's okay. It's a 34-40 game, but kids, if you're listening to this, if you're watching it, keep your feet on the floor as long as you can. There's a time to jump. There's a time to leave. Baltimore with a great 2-point shot.
Yeah, earlier tonight we saw freshman guard for Indian Hill jump to pass, tried to make a pass to Amari. Great idea, but again.
Call Whitehead with a block there. That'll be his third foul, I believe.
Jumping to pass or jumping to contest shots, 25 feet away from the basket, usually bad things happen.
Yeah, and I like what Whitehead was trying to do there. He thought he got position, but he leaned back, which made him roll on his heels, and that's a blocking foul.
He
can't start the fall before they make contact.
Right. Taylor with a guy having a little physical trouble, Jose Gonzalez, trainer very well aware of it, came out to help, but I think the ref waved her off and said, hey, it's just a shot to the midsection, maybe needs just a little time.
I think the shot might have been a little bit lower than the midsection.
Yeah, just needs some time.
Which in the UCLA game against the Bearcats, Brooks took a knee right. No, I'm sorry, it was Jennifer took a shot and was down on the floor. They had to help him off the floor. And it was a brutal shot. It was a great defensive move, but he was in agony.
Yeah.
And when Doc came out to help him off the floor and he took him over the bench, the entire UC bench was just laughing.
Yeah, everything's going to be fine. Question is just how quick can they get him back in the game. Braves have extended the lead to 8 under 4 minutes left, and really the way this game has gone, 8 points is quite a bit at this point in the game. So Braves right now, good possessions, get good looks, don't be in a hurry, but don't take the foot off the gas pedal. Keep playing. You're not trying to milk this thing. You're trying to win, try to beat them by 10, 12, 15, whatever. Make sure you beat them by 1. But for the Braves, getting to that time when Taylor might need to do too much. Might need to start shooting threes and pressuring a little bit more. And so Braves in good shape here. Just got to stay solid.
Braves playing real tight defense here. You got to like the way Whitehead and Baltimore talk to each other on that switch. Shots up off the mark. Baltimore with the rebound. Gets it to Bader, who's going to bring it up with 3:20 left. The Braves are up by 8.
Yeah, the other thing, the Braves do a good job defensive rebounding and forcing misses. They kind of avoid that pressure.
Bader with the fingertip roll.
It looks like Benny's they're going to get an injury timeout here. Not sure what happened, but boy, Ben Bader with this strong move. First he shows the behind the back and then the strong finish. Ben Bader came into open gym this fall, having increased his strength and really worked hard to become a more physical player. He's done that, and I think it's a cramp going over there trying to pull on that toe. He's got a calf cramp right now, so everything's fine. It's not a long-term issue. We don't have another injury. That's just a cramp.
Lopez with the rebound, gets it over to Watch. Bader getting a little biofreeze sprayed on his calf and getting a little bit of water, looking to come back in this game as quickly as possible. Watch draws the foul.
Yeah, Ben's at the scorer's table. They're going to put him back in next dead ball.
Butch, we have a dead ball. It's a one-on-one. So he'll come in now.
Yeah, what's important about that is this game, 10-point game, 2.5 minutes left. As Taylor struggles to get back in it, maybe gets a little desperate and puts some pressure on and extends further than they'd like to have an experienced ball handler and a free throw shooter. Taylor with 8 team fouls. A good opportunity to have somebody like Ben Bader in, take care of the ball, and not afraid to go to the line.
Watch has got 17 now. Make that 18. The Braves extend this lead by 12.
Yeah,
and Taylor's going to call a timeout.
Yeah, the Braves, I think right now, looking for guys they can count on for different roles because, got a little bit of a injury issue we've talked about quite a bit tonight. Wyatt showing him something not just for tonight but going forward about the ability to score if the matchup is right, and really looking good tonight, the sophomore.
A quick shout out to some of our sponsors. You've got Everything But the House, Sipsy Klein, Cleat Camp Paving. You've got Beacon Orthopedic, Huntington, Dial 1, Grasscore and Weiler, and Bob Summerall. All great supporters of Braves athletics and extracurricular activities in general. Big shout out to Terry Conti, who's responsible for keeping these guys healthy and getting them back as quick as possible. Rumor on the street.
Yeah.
That Young will be back for the game on the 4th.
I love it.
It's only a rumor, though.
Let's get that team as deep as we can. Yeah, that's good news. I mean, in the next couple of weeks, everybody is going to be back on that team. And
He's
just really going to make them, and even the guys that are out there now, it's going to make everybody better.
Whitehead with a steal up the court, and a great fingertip roll with a kiss off the glass as Whitehead gets his 7th point of the game.
Yeah, 7 points, but, really doesn't tell the full story of what he gave them tonight, offensively and defensively. Of course, going to have a little backdoor opportunity.
Whitehead with the jump ball. Possession will stay.
But Amari just gives them so much more. When the team starts playing with more energy, playing a little harder, good things just seem to happen. Amari going to do nothing but get better, too. In this system, it does require a little bit of patience, and you really do have to play kind of within what they do.
He came from a high school in New Jersey that won 3 games, averaged 38 points a game last year, and he averaged double-doubles.
Yeah.
So that gives you an idea what kind of system he was playing, and he was probably being forced to play that up-tempo, high-energy, driving down the court. I've seen some film on him, but not full games. But he definitely is an athlete. He brings an energy level. Baltimore up with a nice fingertip roll. I think the student section was hoping for the flush.
Yeah, well, they can hope all they want. It's 4th quarter. He's been on the floor a lot tonight, coming out of exam week. What a pass, though, by Wyatt Walks to give Johnny that opportunity. Once again, the Braves playing at that mid-line. It's you're playing with fire there. Pick a side. Now, probably the Braves' best offense. When they get to this point of the game and guys just start passing and cutting and opening up the floor.
Watch is going to go to the line, shooting a one-on-one. So it's 50-36. The Braves with a 14-point lead with 57 seconds. Any updates on the Wyoming game?
No. What I'm sitting here watching, I find interesting is different guys looking to inbound the basketball. Wyatt Walks, hey, come on now. You got almost 20 points tonight. You're a scorer. You're a bona fide scorer. You gotta know that you're going to the line on that foul. You're not going to give Ben Bader the ball to inbound it. And you give these refs a chance to allow that to happen. I've seen it before, but all kidding aside, Wyatt with a great game.
19 points, and here's number 20. I think that's his high score of the season, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, yeah, by far. Yeah, it's a guy that came into the game, I think, averaging about 5 points a game, and there's more to him. But it takes time. He's playing with some older guys and figuring things out. But I like the fact he got it against Taylor, too, because Taylor does such a nice job defensively.
In for Jacob Swigard is a 10th grader.
This wasn't just an up-and-down game where he's shooting uncontested layups. He worked for those points and did a great job.
Timeout called by Birch. Johnny got a little bit trapped there at midcourt, and could have gone either way. They said it was a tip by Taylor, which allowed Johnny to pick that ball back up, not causing the over and back. A great game by the Braves, as you said. It's exam week. Braves had a fairly light practice schedule all week. They haven't played since last Saturday, so it's the longest period between games that they've had since the beginning of the season.
Right.
Great performance. Braves are off. Next game is Braves have a fun break. Obviously, they'll be back in the gym on the 26th practicing. But on the 4th, they play at Finneytown, and then they turn around Saturday morning, get up, load on the buses, and they're heading to the Hinkle Fieldhouse. Folks, if you're a Braves fan, get to Indianapolis on the 5th for a Saturday night game in the famous Hinkle Fieldhouse.
Well, it's actually in a little high school gym. We'll talk about that in a second. There's the timeout, 16-point lead, 44 seconds left. Remember, this is a team that doesn't have an opportunity to play a game for a week. Really want to end strong. Don't want to end giving the ball up on a turnover, run something, get a bucket.
Are they playing in Hickory and not in
Yeah,
Hinkle?
They're playing in what was where the actual Hickory gym was filmed, which is actually not Hickory. That would have been a much easier drive over to Milan, Indiana. Yeah,
Milan. I'm from
I was going to say you're going to Euro this up a little bit on me. Milan, Indiana, the home of that team in actuality. Of course, that team playing the year and winning it the year before Atticus Crispus and Oscar Robertson won. And you want to read a story. Read Oscar Robertson as a 15-year-old. The intelligence and just the absolute certitude that guy had, the intestinal fortitude to say this is wrong. Read about Oscar Robertson and his post-championship celebration. But the year after,
Luke Robinson in
won
the game for the Braves. So the Braves have gone 12 deep, Brian.
Knightstown, Indiana, though. Knightstown is where that was actually filmed. So you'll recognize it. Just one thing to keep in mind about that gym, almost no room on the sidelines. Let's just hope we stay off the wall. Keep Amari in particular off the wall there.
So the Braves win this game by 20 points. Great second half. More importantly, a great fourth quarter. What defines a great team is how you finish the game. Not necessarily how you started, not necessarily how you played in the third quarter, but when you're tired and when you're having to execute still at a high level, how do you do? And the Braves extend their lead coming out of the third quarter, where they only have a 2-point lead, I think, and go 56-36 to end this game. I'm Rob Young with Brian Shaw. Brian, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. We'll see the Braves back at home against Deer Park on Tuesday the 8th, where you and I will be announcing a great game. Big shout out to Mr. Dupps, who puts this on. The entire crew, you saw their names flashing up. Folks, this podcast is brought to you by high school students. Brian and I are just fortunate enough to be able to talk. Hopefully, if you don't like us, you just turn the volume down and watch the great camera work, the great graphics.
Yeah.
We're the lonely guys.
Yeah, we're doing the easy part.
So, again, Brian, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year's. Braves fans, make it out to Indiana on the 5th. Cheer the Braves on. It'd be great to see a full house there. And if you're not able to make it there, be in this gym for one of the biggest league games against Deer Park on January 8th. Good night, Brian. I'm Rob Young, Brian Shaw, IHTN Sports Network on YouTube, IHTN1.
Exclusive coverage of tonight's game on the Indian Hill Television Network has been a copyrighted presentation of the Indian Hill High School Video Department.